welcome to another episode of PNN. Today is Friday, November 8th, 2019. I'm Katie.
And I'm Brennan.
This past month, some of our high school students participated in a pumpkin chucking competition where one of the teams brought home first place. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Mr. Kitty and Mr. Zuzi came together to form a group of kids for Science Olympiad, where they are building trebuchets that are able to launch pumpkins for the pumpkin chunkin' competition.
So this is the second year we've done the pumpkin chunkin' competition. Mr. Zuzi has been a huge help with this. We've had three teams. We had three teams this year. Pumpkin Slayers, we had the Yeti Slayer 2, and we had the Take 5. We had some complications at first, but it seems like they were able to kind of work out those kinks. There was a lot of learning that went on, and what I'm really proud of with these students is that they actually designed their own, and they overcame a lot of challenges to actually have their catapults throw pumpkins. So that was a big deal. So we plan on doing it again next year. Happy that we won the high school first place again. We defended our title.
Mr. Kitty assisted the kids with the science portion, while Mr. Zuzi was there for them and helped them construct and build their trebuchets to be able to launch.
They've been working on them for a couple weeks now, a couple days a week. We had some Saturday mornings and Friday afternoons. For most of the students, I think they struggle on inexperience with working with equipment down in the wood shop. They were able to design really well, but had trouble with the construction portion. I think they enjoyed most throwing pumpkins. I mean, let's be honest, that's pretty fun. My favorite part about this event is that I get to work with students who I don't typically take my courses. I get to expose them to what I get to do every day down in the shop.
Today our trebuchet didn't do as great as we thought it would, but we continue to make adjustments to try and make it better. I feel if we had more time, it could have gone a lot better. Our team really kept together and no one gave up. We kept making adjustments and pushing through, and although we failed miserably, there's always next year.
I am here with PNN. This is Tyler Vitolo signing off.
Looks really fun.
I hope they do it again next year.
Next, we have coverage from the annual Middle School Volley for the Cure game.
My favorite part of playing today was probably just playing with all the boys and my friends, because you only get to do this one time with all your classmates, so I think it was a cool experience to remember.
I think my most favorite part was just playing with everyone and getting to know each other a lot more and getting together.
So my favorite part of announcing the game with Mr. Nemechek, it's definitely the children. The children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. In the end, it's all about the children. Thank you.
So I really wasn't the coach, but I just helped out Coach Moses. It's a good group of boys, not very good volleyball players, as you could tell from the outcome today, but I think they all had fun, and we raised a lot of money for the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Mr. Nisley and Mr. Frazier if I would help out, so I was of course happy to help out with a really worthy cause, and it was a great time.
I knew they would win.
This is such a great event for a worthy cause.
The Flip a House students have been really busy at the house project since we last showed updated views. Let's take a moment to see their latest project on the Pirate Project house.
As a whole, the students are pretty well finished with all the major demolition in the house. They no longer have any HVAC or plumbing left. There's very limited electricity left in the house, really only a few outlets and lights. Most of the lighting is now considered temporary at this time. They also have been working on floor plans. The next steps are to work on framing, rough plumbing, rough electrical, and running ducts for the HVAC system. Accomplishing these things will allow them to insulate the walls and heat the house more efficiently. Cheyenne is removing an old natural gas line. The original location was not ideal for where the new gas appliances will be. Brad is working on removing a soffit that was originally needed to hide drain and vent lines. The soffit is no longer needed in that location. Stay tuned next week for another update.
Bye, guys.
It's really coming along.
They are hard at work, learning some real-life skills that couldn't be taught at school.
Now, let's take a look at the math teacher and see who got kicked off this week, and look at clues for next week.
Hello, and welcome to The Math Teacher. I'm your host, Katie Baranowskis, and here are your contestants. Last week, Jason Kipnis, aka Mr. Ruska, was sent home, and the teachers were asked what their eye color is. The results are in. Echo 9, the honey badger, Poindexter, and the river otter. Please step forward. You are all safe this week. You may step back. Now, on to the winner this week. With 56.9% of votes, is once again the cat. Congratulations, you may step back. This leaves Antonio Brown and the narwhal as the bottom two. The person going home today with 1.4% of votes is Antonio Brown. Let's see who's behind the screen.
Todd Porcello.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Porcello. Now, on to this week's question. What is your hair color?
Brown.
Gray.
Technically it's black.
Brown. Gray. Brown.
Strawberry blonde.
Well, there you have it. Make sure to vote in the Google form listed in the description of this video for who you want to keep in. See you next week on The Math Teacher. The cat is really on a roll.
I'm rooting for them to win.
Speaking of winning, we've got the latest episode of Quick Fire Questions. How will our contestants do this week?
Quick Fire Questions with Ryan and Alex.
How many presidents have been impeached and who?
2. Final answer 2. No, I cannot name them.
2. I'm gonna win 2. Bill Clinton and Richard Nixon? I don't know the other.
2. Clinton and I have no idea. Clinton and somebody else.
3. George Bush. No. Clinton. Nixon. And there's one other that shall not be named.
1. Bill Clinton.
3. I know one was Bill Clinton. I don't know the other ones.
None.
At least I got the first part of the question right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Johnson.
Ah! I don't even know who that is, but.
I was close. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
That was one hard question.
Come on, it wasn't that hard.
Next up, the 8th graders put their skills to the test by planning how to build monuments after they visited Washington, D.C. to see them in person.
Here in the middle school watching the 8th graders build the Washington Monument, so let's go take a look.
Day.
What's so fun about Building Day? On Building Day, it's really neat to see the creativity that the kids that they have and the ways that they figure out problems. Like I have a group in there right now who's been trying to figure out for 2 hours how to make a sphere, and they finally figured out how to blow up a balloon and tape strips of paper around it. So it's just fun. We listen to music, there's sing-alongs.
So the monument we are building for our project is about the Civil War, since there's no Civil War monument in D.C. And the reason we are doing that is because it would show that even though we are united as a country now, back then we weren't.
We are doing the Boston Massacre because we were doing over it in social studies with Mr. Nem, and it sounded really interesting.
So we can learn about symbolism and why Washington monuments and memorials are important. At DC, I learned that in the Capitol there are 2 representatives from each state that have their own statue.
It's just a good time. We have a good day.
All right, sweet. Seems like a fun activity and pretty simple.
Easy for you to say.
In other news, our winter sports season is getting underway. Let's take a look at the upcoming girls basketball season with comments from the head coach.
One of the things that we want to do is keep advancing to the next level from what we built on from last year. One of the things we want to do is our goal is to win the conference again. We'd like to compete and try to win a district title, and then our next goal is to win a regional title and advance to the state Final Four. Playing good team defense, so those are the things we want to be able to press and cause turnovers for the other team. So that's defensive purposes are always things that we want to work on. We also want to continue to work on building team chemistry and being effective offensively. Last season we did a lot of really good things, so we want to continue to improve on everything. But one of the things we really need to work on is rebounding. We're not the tallest team, we're not the biggest team. So what we'd like to do is really work on some different things to overcome that, and we have to be able to rebound as a team and work on some of those drills and some of the schemes that we have to do in order to rebound and beat teams on the boards. Well, we lost 2 seniors, Anna Soren and Mackenzie Hacking, and Anna was a team leader and a very good defender. So we're looking for people to step up and take that role, especially on the defensive end. Mackenzie was a very good defender inside and a good rebounder. So again, we need someone to step up and multiple people to step up to fill those roles. So they are big shoes to fill, but I feel like we have people on the team that can do that.
Well, some ways that I feel like I'm going to be more of a leader role this year is a lot of the sophomores look up to me, and I feel like that I can lead this team onto another CBC championship and maybe even another district championship this year.
Our motto for this year is next level, and what that means is a lot of things. One of it is we want to advance our game to the next level. We're advancing our goals to the next level. meaning we accomplished a lot of good things. We're a good team and a good program, but I think we can go further than we have before, and that comes in taking our practices to the next level, our intensity, our defense, our offense. So that's part of the next level. The other thing is being able to advance further in the tournament, compete for a regional title, and get to the Final Four. So we want to take it all to the next level, and that also includes off-the-court things, being leaders in the school, leaders in the hallway, leaders in the classroom. So next level covers a lot of things, but I think it's something that we need and we can do to advance.
I feel like as a team we need to work harder and we need to be loud and active as a team. And some goals of mine are definitely CVC championship, or definitely as a team we need to get district championship again.
We've got a great lineup this year, and they should really be able to build on their talent from last year.
I hope they get further into the postseason this year.
Now, let's shift our focus to the recent show choir event.
The Perry Show Choir Festival was last weekend. Let's check in with Mrs. Singer to see what this event is all about.
The Show Choir Festival is an opportunity for a bunch of kids who love singing and dancing and performing to get together and celebrate each other's talents and hard work. So they went in order: Lakeside, Geneva, Grand Valley, Madison, Mentor, Cardinal, and Perry.
They did really well. It was a lot of fun watching them, and it was just a great experience being there, and being in the crowd was just amazing.
My favorite part about the Show Choir Festival is always seeing all the other groups' shows and performances, and knowing how hard they all worked to get their performances ready, and being able to appreciate and celebrate everybody's hard work. Well, clearly I am kind of partial to the Buccaneers, but I thought everyone did a great job.
The Show Choir Festival is a great place to see performances of different styles.
We had 250 performers at the performance, and then in addition, I don't even have the actual numbers, but our theater was completely packed. There was standing room only.
It's great to see these show choirs come together to make something great. For PNN, this is Brendan Flatto. Now back to the news desk.
They sounded amazing, and their dancing was on point too.
All the schools did a fantastic job as always.
And speaking of talent, our student one acts are getting underway too. Let's find out more about what they actually are.
Hello, I'm Owen Bertram, and we are outside Goodwin Theater, where the one acts are going to take place. Wait, you don't know what a one act is? Oh my gosh. Here's Mr. Kellogg to tell it to you.
One act is a short play, or one act of a play. It can run anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, in some cases a little over an hour. One act is a great opportunity for students to learn about the directorial process. I mean, they do stuff, on stage, backstage, behind the scenes, but this is their opportunity to take the reins and, have the process from, auditions to rehearsals, advertising, picking a show. There's so much that goes into it that they don't get exposed to because they don't, that they're not in control. So this is a time to put them in control. My advice, I find that the hardest time that student directors have is just in the discipline of it. And by discipline, I don't mean, yelling at people. I mean, making sure you're rehearsing, that you're holding your cast members accountable for being on time. Because one of the biggest problems I always see is really is just the memorization of lines and the material and the work being put into it. And I think part of that is because they figure it's a student director, so they really don't have to try as hard because, who do they have to impress? But at the end of the day, it's a struggle to make sure that your cast is doing what they have to, staying on task. And then overall, I would just have a vision, make sure you know what it is you want so you can direct your cast accordingly. Because without direction, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like there's no direction and they're just going to be up there doing their thing. The most memorable one act, actually, it was written and directed by a student, and it was performed by that student who played two different roles. It it was impressive. Certainly he was a senior, I believe, at the time. But even as a senior, to be writing at the level in which he wrote, and to have the composure to pull that off, he probably took the one acts the most seriously out of anyone I've ever seen, and he did a great job.
The one acts are currently underway, with students casting and rehearsing as they prepare to perform on December 16th at 7 p.m. here in the Goodwin Theater. Stay tuned for more information in the future. I'm Owen for PNN. Back to you.
That sounds like a challenging opportunity for our theater students.
Good luck with your shows, and don't forget to see them in a few weeks.
Mrs. Borvik was recently hired as our students' community connector, but what exactly does that mean?
So I am the student community connector here at Perry High School. I don't technically teach, I tutor. I'm here for people to come to. I can listen to them. We hook them up with the services that they need, whether it's mental health services or just tutoring or food assistance, clothing assistance, anything.
We decided to hire the student community connector because we saw that there was a need for a population of our students that could use somebody during the school day to help connect them with opportunities outside of the school day, and also to support them during the day with their learning and different needs that came up throughout a day.
So I got my job by applying. My position's funded through the grant. So a job listing came up, and I had previously worked at the clothing room over by Manchester West. And so just my experience from there made it perfect opening, and I applied, did 2 interviews, and got the job.
Ms. Borvik overall is a very energetic type of person who will go to whatever distance needed to support one of our students. I think her heart and is in the right place, and I think through the interview process, when those things really stood out to us as somebody that is going to truly help students, care about students, and do what they need to do.
So anyone and everyone is open to coming to my room. I don't turn anybody away. Anybody can come in here to get homework help on tests. We run a book club every Thursday, so yeah, just fun stuff after school.
So in this classroom, we practically get caught up on work and learn about life skills and everything like that.
My favorite thing about the job is definitely the people. Just everybody from 7 in the morning to 4 p.m. I get to see everybody, and you never know who's going to come in or who you're going to get to work with that day. I love my job. I love coming here every day. I love working with students and collaborating with teachers and coming up with fun field trips and after-school activities. So yeah, I love it.
She seems nice.
I'm glad there's another resource at that school to help the students out when they need it.
Now, Mr. Forcella is going to cover some of the newest opportunities available at Perry High School.
Toddy P!
Well, as principal, I oversee sort of all the instructional pieces related to our school. So I work closely with our teachers. We have around 40 teachers at the high school, assistant principal, office staff, and oversee just a lot of the operations from an instructional standpoint, and just daily management things that pop up related to student issue, parent concerns, community issues, and end up attending a lot of meetings, working on making Perry a better place. I first was a teacher. I taught for around 7 years. I had then moved into being an assistant principal and an athletic director. I did that for around 3 years, and then I had an opportunity to move to the principal role. I think at the end of the day, the reason I went into education overall, whether it was being a teacher, athletic director, assistant principal, or principal, is because I think education is very valuable. I enjoy working with kids of all ages, and I feel that education needs people that can be innovative and look at some creative things we could do to make sure that the overall experience for students is top-notch, and that students have the opportunity to chase their dreams when they leave here and accomplish great things. I end up attending a lot of meetings. So, for example, this morning I had a meeting with some of our elective teachers looking at our course offerings for next year. I enjoy the interactions with a wide range of people, first off with students, with staff members, with parents, community members. I'm somebody that I enjoy talking with people, and so this job brings a lot of opportunities to interact with a wide range of people. Most recently, from an academic standpoint, we're doing the housekeeping course this year. So if you look at some of our course offerings over the time, they have evolved. I think they've gotten better. And so I think that what we do academically is probably the most important. But then second part of that, which may be just as important, is the culture. We're doing certain things in staff meetings now to help show our recognition of students that are experiencing success, trying to bring about greater student voice in a lot of the decisions that we make. Over the last 5 years, College Credit Plus has become a lot more popular on our campus, so students have an opportunity to take college courses at no charge to them. So if you look at it, there's been a wide range of activities and new courses and new opportunities that have happened over the last so many years.
That's a lot of new stuff.
And different from the traditional classes a high school could offer.
And speaking of different, we have some information regarding the new learning opportunity in the Learning Commons during ICE.
Most media centers have books, but ours has games.
Why didn't we have games? It seems to me we should always have games. I think there's a lot of pressure at school, and we just need to relax sometime and have fun. And I don't think there's enough opportunity for people to be able to do that. It's also interesting, too, because the people who are playing those games aren't on their phones. So this is an opportunity where they're socializing, and everybody wants to feel successful at something. And if foosball is your claim to fame, then you know what, go for it. If shooting a basket, if that's what you're really good at, oftentimes, myself included, we just don't feel a lot of success during the day, and I think everybody should feel that at least part of the time.
During ICE, the media center is pretty packed.
It just depends, because there's only limited numbers of students who can play it at a time. Like basketball is really popular, but it's the same kids that rush to get in here every day to play it. Ping pong tends to mix it up a little bit. They can come in obviously during ICE before school. I'm here during the day if they have a free block. Obviously you don't want to skip class to come here and play. After you eat lunch, if you get a pass from a teacher, you can come down and play them. And then I have students who stay after school and play also. Currently we have 2 areas set up for Mario Kart or just dance or whatever. Outside we have cornhole. In the back we have basketball game, we have 2 ping pong tables, and we have 1 foosball besides game. We also are doing crafts 2 days a week. Mrs. Milky is doing different crafts. Well, honestly, I didn't expect ping pong. This is really the second year for ping pong, and I'm surprised that it lasted. Although we do get freshmen every year, so it's a new group of students, but that's going strong. And basketball, I'm just surprised they like it as much as they did. At the end of last year, I went around and asked students who were in here what kind of games they would like in here, and it was mentioned the foosball and the basketball hoops. Yeah, they were right, because they still are playing it every day.
I might have to check it out.
I could go for a snack session.
Finally, we have some more information regarding other things you can do at ICE and the Learning Commons.
Mrs. Milky, an English teacher here at Prairie High School, has come up with a brilliant idea of combining 2 things that students love, crafting and snacking. With her being the brains of the operation, Rez is right there by her side to assist her. Let's check this out.
Actually, it's Mrs. Milky's idea. She is the crafty one. I am not crafty. It takes place here in the Learning Commons in the front fishbowl area, the glassed-in classroom.
But just crafting is a good way to kind of relax and take some time during the busy day, so I thought it would be a fun thing for the students to do. The club is officially every Monday and Wednesday during ICE, but we are usually here every single day. But if you want a snack, that's when the snacks are. So far we've done friendship bracelets, and now we're doing shrinky dinks, and we have plans to do some tie-dyeing coming up too. So every couple of weeks we introduce a new idea.
I don't want to be bored during ICE. It's fun, and it's a way for you to express yourself with colors.
I'm in this club because, first of all, my friend Carly Ayers asked if I want to do it, and then there were snacks involved, so I said, of course I will do it. And now it's our little tradition to come every day.
I joined the club because me and my friend Hope Kitchen needed something to do after chemistry. It's a good way to de-stress after class, and you get a snack, so it's really fun.
That looks like a lot of fun. If you're interested, you should definitely check it out. For PNN, this is Brendan Flotto. Now back to the news desk. There's a lot of stuff to do. Before we leave today, our football team opens their postseason play against Girard at home this weekend.
Here's a little video to get you hyped. we have for this week's edition of PNN.
Thanks for watching. See you later, and
Go
Pirates!